Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we're peeling back the layers of Martin Scorsese's latest epic, Killers of the Flower Moon. Well, this isn't a movie review. We're digging into the dusty archives to unearth the truth behind this grappling tale of wealth, deceit, and murder. How much of Scorsese's portrayal sticks to the real story of the Osage Nation and their tragic past? Well, grab your detective hats, folks, because we're about to find out. Killers of the Flower Moon isn't just another Hollywood blockbuster. It's a deep cut into the American past, one that's been left out of the history books for too long. Adapted from David Grant's book, the film unearths the chilling saga of the Osage murders. This is real-life drama from the 1920s in Oklahoma, where the discovery of oil turns into a curse for the indigenous Osage tribe, who suddenly find themselves rich beyond measure and targeted for their wealth. The setting and historical context. Imagine America in the roaring 20s, a time of jazz, prohibition, and booming industry. Now shift that picture to the dusty plains of Oklahoma, where the Osage tribe sits on land that's about to turn their world upside down. Beneath their feet lies a vast pool of oil. This black gold brings a fortune to the Osage people almost overnight. It's like winning the lottery, only there's a dark twist coming their way. Introduction to main characters and plot. The story focuses on a handful of characters. There's Ernest Buckhurst, a young war veteran played by Leonardo DiCaprio, who rolls into town with big dreams and empty pockets. His wealthy uncle, William Hale, Robert De Niro, in a commanding performance, has a plan up his sleeve. He nudges Ernest to woo and wed Molly Buckhart, portrayed by Lily Gladstone, an Osage woman whose land rights could make them even richer. It's a plot thick with greed and betrayal, historical accuracy, and the Osage murders. But let's talk facts. Is the movie faithful to history? Yes, to a large extent. The script, plucked from Grant's investigative book, doesn't stray far from the truth, especially about the gruesome Osage murders. There were systematic killings over land and wealth, as outsiders schemed to claim the Osage oil fortunes by any means necessary. From the 1910s through the 1930s, the Osage suffered a series of violent deaths that were often overlooked by law enforcement. It wasn't just the murders, it was the sheer injustice. The tribal revenue in 1923 alone was a staggering $30 million, an unheard of sum for a Native American tribe at that time, and it made them a target. William Hale, a figure from considerable clout, known as the King of the Osage Hills, manipulated the system and his nephew to seize control of the oil wealth. It's a tale of deception and cold-blooded murder, and it took the FBI's intervention to bring some semblance of justice, even if it was delayed and flawed. The Osage Nation today. Today, the Osage Nation is still vibrant, with about 21,000 members. Their foundation promotes cultural and community development on their reservation and beyond. Despite the dark history, they've maintained their heritage and are a testament to resilience and survival. Osage wealth and guardianship. In the movie, you'll see scenes where the Osage, despite their newfound wealth, are patronized and controlled like children. This is painfully true. The U.S. government once pushed the Osage off their fertile Missouri lands onto what was thought to be the worthless plains in Oklahoma. But when oil was discovered, the government imposed a competency test to control how the Osage used their wealth. Those who were deemed incompetent were assigned white guardians, and this is where the exploitation began. Many guardians were corrupt, lining their pockets by exploiting the Osage. The system was rigged, and the Osage were stripped of their dignity and autonomy, a truth that the film captures with stark honesty. The FBI's role. Now you might be wondering about the FBI's heroic role in all of this, right? Well, the truth is a little more complicated. The Osage, distraught by the relentless murders, including Molly's family, actually had to plead their case in Washington before the feds took notice. The movie depicts the FBI agents as diligent saviors, which they eventually were, but it wasn't without hiccups. The investigation had its fair share of missteps before Tom White and his undercover team got their bearings. They had to blend in, posing as salesmen and prospectors to unravel the conspiracy. It was a significant moment for the Bureau, especially for the young J. Edgar Hoover, who needed a win after some embarrassing failures. Ernest and Molly's relationship. One of the most personal threads of the story is the relationship between Ernest and Molly. The film suggests Ernest genuinely fell for Molly, even as he's ensnared in his uncle's wicked plans. According to Grant's research, Ernest did show signs of true affection for Molly. Despite the horror unfolding around them, it seems there might have been a genuine connection after all. Other historical aspects and the trial. The film also touches on other intriguing historical points like Hale's status as a Freemason and his proficiency in the Osage language, which he used to integrate himself with the tribe. And what about Molly's initiative to hire a private detective? Yes, that happened too. Though the real detectives were less effective than the movie suggests, and the investigation was fraught with corruption and deceit. When the trial finally arrives, it's as dramatic as you'd expect, with Hale's obstinate refusal to go quietly and Ernest's torn confessions. The legal battles were intense, with multiple appeals and retrials. until Hale was finally convicted. The movie's courtroom drama is spot on, captivating the tension and the high stakes involved. To conclude, Killers of the Flower Moon is a cinematic retelling that's as close to the bone as it gets. It's a story of wealth, power, and murder, but also of the Osage's fight for justice. Scorsese brings this complex, heart-wrenching story to life, balancing historical accuracy with the compelling narrative drive that cinema demands. It's a reminder of the endurance of the Osage people and a reflection on a past that should not be forgotten. The audience's response, both in terms of critical acclaim and box office success, shows that when a real story is told well, it resonates deeply. And there you have it, folks, the real story interwoven with Scorsese's cinematic vision in Killers of the Flower Moon. It's been quite the journey today, from the oil-rich hills of Osage County to the dark corners of American history. We've seen the power of storytelling and its ability to bring forgotten truths to light. If you enjoyed our deep dive into the past and found yourself surprised by any of the facts we uncovered, let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to share this video with all your history buff friends and anyone who loves a good story well told. Before you go, hit that like button, smash subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that bell for notifications because we've got plenty more history to explore and movies to dissect. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.